Hi everyone, so one of my most requested videos when I asked you on Facebook was to do my top tips for dressing a pear-shaped body. Now the reason I chose this one is because that is my body shape, and I've written a little blog post about kind of my whole idea behind how to tell what body shape you've got and different things like height and proportions that affect what body shape you may or may not be. So definitely go and have a look at that little blog post, which I'll link in the description box, because that'll just give you a little bit more information as to how I like to think about determining what body shape you are. Now, a pear shape is the type of body where you have a smaller top, so you might have quite narrow shoulders, quite a small bust, a small waist, and a flat-ish stomach, and then you've got larger hips and thighs and bum, so you basically carry the majority of your weight around your lower half. Now there are different types of pear shapes. You can be a small pear shaped, which is what I am. I'm quite petite, I'm only 5'1", and I'm quite well proportioned. I know that kind of sounds really big headed, and I don't mean it like that at all, but I'm just quite well proportioned for my body, so my lower half isn't dramatically larger than my upper half. I have got quite a big bum and, you know, big hips, but they're not dramatically larger, whereas some women will have like a completely different size on their lower half to their top half. So that can kind of affect things as well, and obviously it depends on your height, and some women, you know, can be a little bit heavier, so things will look different on them. So I'm just going to talk you through what I think my top tips for dressing this type of body is. Obviously I'm talking about this type because this is the body that I've got. I can talk about, you know, how to dress apple shapes and if you've got a ruler shape, but that's not really going to give you the right indication because I like to talk from personal experience. So the kind of rules for dressing a pear shape can be a little controversial. Now I know you can kind of read things and watch things, and there's a lot of do's and don'ts, and I think you don't have to take those too seriously. If you feel great in something, then you just wear it. But there's a lot of different opinions out there about what you should or shouldn't wear, not just with pear shapes but with all body shapes, and I feel like that can be kind of misleading, and there are ways you can wear whatever you like, and it can kind of get a little bit much. So the tips that I've got are what works for me. You might not agree with some of these tips, they might not work on your body shape, but these are just the things that I think work when I am trying to dress my shape. So the first tip is proportion. Now proportion is key, and what you want to try and do when you've got a pear-shaped body is to try and make it look as much like an hourglass shaped body as possible. Now I don't want to get comments saying, you know, oh, you're saying that a pear-shaped body is ugly and horrible and blah blah blah. I'm not. All body shapes are lovely, you've got to just work with what you've got. But personally I think the whole aspect of a pear-shaped body is that you're slightly disproportioned. You've got one area that's larger than the other. So you want to kind of try and balance these two areas out, which means balancing your top half with your lower half. And the easiest way to do that is really with clothes. So you want to kind of draw attention to your upper half and make your upper half look larger, your waist look smaller, and your hips just, you know, stay as they are. Now when it comes to kind of getting dressed and that kind of thing, you want to try and keep your waist always really accentuated, but not over accentuated. Now I know in a lot of places you'll read, they'll tell you that if you've got a pear shape, you know, waist belts look great on you. I personally think that on my body shape, waist belts really don't look that great, because I feel like what they do is they just accentuate how small my waist is in comparison to how large my hips are. And whereas, you know, maybe some people really like that kind of large hip look, I like it sometimes, but on a day-to-day basis I want to just look in proportion, and I think it's much more about the silhouette of your body. And I think that when you wear a waist belt, it tends to just kind of, I don't know, on me anyway, they just look wrong. They just accentuate how much of a difference there is between my waist and my hips, instead of really balancing me out, which was what would happen if you were a hourglass shape and you wore that. So that's something to bear in mind. And the other great thing is with a pear shape is most pear shapes, as I said, because of the kind of imbalance, tend to have a smaller bust. And what's great about that is that you can kind of play that up to your advantage. So if you want to wear something that requires a smaller bust or that looks better with a smaller bust, you can do that too. But if you want to kind of draw attention and balance your body out, then wearing a padded bra is a really great way to go. Now I've brought my favourite padded bra here to show you, which I know is a little bit weird, but I just thought that, you know, we're talking about the subject and it's best to be honest. Now this one is from Licenza, and it's the Licenza Triple X Gel Bra. It looks like this. So what's so great about this bra is it's got gel padding in the lower part right here, and it really does give you a look like you've invested in some Pammy Andersons. Not that, you know, we all want to do that, but it does make your boobs look significantly larger, which makes them look more in proportion with your hips. Now this type of bra is great if you're wearing dresses, for example, and you really want to create that hourglass silhouette. On a day-to-day basis, I don't tend to wear that much of an accentuating bra. I just like to kind of make sure that I'm wearing maybe a statement necklace or a scarf or a top that's got some detailing in, and I tend to keep my lower half quite plain and simple, and I tend to kind of wear dark colours, so you wouldn't see me in white jeans or anything like that, for example, because I feel like they just highlight my dodgy areas. Now when it comes to skirts, this is another interesting thing, and this is a rule that I really agree with, where they always tell you that I'm saying they, you know, like the style gurus, always tell you that an A-line skirt works best, and I 100% agree. I do sometimes wear kind of pencil skirts or bandage skirts, but I do feel like they don't really do the most for your figure, and that's what dressing's about really, I think, doing the most for your figure. And I like to wear kind of just quite voluminous A-line skirts, because I feel like what happens then is they just hide all your problem areas, which is your hips. And for me, I've got quite bad saddle bags, which means that you kind of get those kind of sticky outy parts on the back of your thighs, and they just make you look a really odd shape. And if you're not careful, things can really accentuate that. So that is why I like to wear an A-line skirt, because it just skims over those areas and then it just kind of reveals your legs, which I tend to kind of always wear skirts with heels, because I don't really think my legs are cut out for wearing skirts with flats. But if you've got great legs, then by all means that's a really great way to kind of disguise an area and highlight your nice bits. Then the other area is jeans. Now jeans are a constant source of agony, I feel, for most women. Unless you've got like the most perfect body ever, jeans are a really difficult thing to get right. Now when you kind of read about how to dress a pear shape and that kind of thing, they'll always tell you that bootcut jeans are the best option for you, and for some women they are the best option. But if you are like me and you're quite short, then bootlegs don't tend to look great. I feel like they can just make you look a little bit stumpy, and I also just don't really like how they look. I think they only look nice if you wear them with heels or with heeled boots, but I don't tend to kind of wear that style on an everyday basis. And if, you know, I'm just going to the supermarket, I tend to be in flats. On a day-to-day basis, I tend to be in flats or maybe a little bit of a heel, like I'll show you in a minute. But you need to kind of try and remember that just because someone says that that's kind of the most flattering thing for a pear shape doesn't mean that it'll be the most flattering thing on your specific shape, because we're all completely different. And I tend to think that you can wear skinny jeans, you just need to know how to do it. Now my best tip for wearing skinny jeans is to make sure that they're a dark denim wash. First of all, that's a really important tip, not just for skinny jeans, for any style jeans. A dark denim just slims you down a little bit more. The second thing is to make sure that they are high-waisted, because that's just going to pull you in and kind of keep everything intact, and then you're not going to get any kind of bum cleavage, which, let's face it, is not the chicest look. These ones right here are from ASOS, and they're just high-waisted, quite soft jeans, so they really suck you in. And I tend to wear these with something like this. These are the best kind of combos in my opinion. A boot like this, which actually happens to be from ASOS as well. This is the ASOS Aggie boot. Now if you see how similar the colour of the denim and the colour of the boot is. Now the denim's coming off a little bit darker on camera, and the boots are actually looking much lighter than they really are. But if you wear something that's a similar colour like this, what happens is you are kind of making your legs look a little bit longer, therefore you're making your legs look slimmer, because length equals you looking slimmer. So you could just wear heels, but if you wear a heel that's a similar colour to your jean, they're going to make you look loads slimmer, and these are really comfy pair of boots anyway. I love them. They're just really, really easy to wear. But something like this styled together work really, really well. And I'm kind of gutted that these are showing up on camera lighter than they are, because these really do make you look like you've got longer legs. And something like leggings, for example, which can be a very, very tricky thing to wear. I wear leggings all the time because I just think they're so comfortable, but they can be a very tricky thing to wear, and I feel like I don't like wearing leggings with heels because I just feel like it kind of looks a little bit, I don't know, I just don't like how it looks. And leggings with flats can make you look a little bit stumpy. So what I like to do is I'll wear long leggings, black leggings, and I'll wear them with black pumps, because again, the kind of continuous colour just kind of draws the eye down, and it doesn't emphasise any areas, and it doesn't cut you off. It just makes you kind of look like all one long piece. And another thing is, when you're shopping for tops, a lot of magazines and that kind of thing will tell you that, you know, not crop tops, but tops that end at your hips are the most flattering. I completely disagree with that. I think that tops that are longer are more flattering, and not just that, I feel like they kind of give me a little sense of security in a way, because they just really help to kind of disguise my problem areas. This top right here is actually a jumper top, but this is from H&M, and it's just this navy jumper dress, which is quite long, as you can see. I can't fit all of it on camera, but this just skims over your problem areas, and oh, that's kind of made the camera go a little bit weird. It skims over your problem areas, and it just helps to kind of make you have a slimmer silhouette and hides all your saddle bags, and if you've got any of that business going on, and it just kind of makes you look like you've just got a nice curvy bum, and then you've got slimmish legs. So those are my top tips for dressing a pear shape. I am going to do a video where I style different looks, and I'm going to talk you through why I think they work for this particular shape as well, so keep your eyes peeled for that. And if you've got any particular looks that you'd like me to do, then let me know, and I'll try and see if I can kind of incorporate those into the video. I am going to do like an evening look and maybe jeans and just a couple of different looks and talk you through why they work. But I hope you enjoyed this video. If you are pear shaped, I hope it helped you and you found some kind of helpful tips. If you agree with any of the kind of tips that I said and you don't find that the traditional rules work for you, then definitely let me know. I'd love to hear from you. And if you've got any other tips that you feel would be beneficial for us all, then don't be afraid to just pop those in the comments below. I hope you'll have a great weekend, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye bye.